people of Syracuse housing, and the food bank is complicit. We have the right to food if you're paying $70, $80 to fill up your car. That money is either for food or to go to work. We need food.
This is our voice, and you hear us roar. We will no longer be silenced by the corporations that only show greed. Yalagoa.
I trouble them, I pick up on them head right now. Causing so much trouble in the world right now. So much trouble in the world right now. Yeah, yeah. I trouble them, I pick up on them head right now. Causing so much trouble in the world right now. So much trouble in the world right now. Yeah, yeah. Yes, in this time when mankind still searching for powers to conquer the world, yeah. Using their wealth and their force to satisfy their own heart and soul. If for me they don't care, if for you they don't care. Their ability is to work destruction on their fellow brothers, causing so much trouble in the world right now. So much trouble in the world right now. Trouble them I take up on them head right now. Yeah. Causing so much trouble in the world right now. So much trouble in the world right now. Trouble them I take up on them head right now. Yeah. They worship idols every day. Increasing technology and senseless war.
Was the correspondence dinner shooting an AI-generated flag psyop to rekindle presidential loyalty for a lame duck president and a failing administration in Pearl? B, a foiled CIA assassination on Trump. C, a Mossad false flag domestic terrorist attack against the most pre-Zionist U.S. president. And D, a psychotic Californian black liberal Democrat with Trump derangement syndrome libtard lone wolf assassination.
Wow, that's I think it's like a little bit of all four, you know, but it's obvious that when they're in trouble, they, you know, either they're so incompetent, they let their incompetence bleed in people who are not mentally stable. I mean, they should have, you know, this is a thing where it's like their incompetence leads to these crises to get us off the topic of the fact that they're in a legal war, the economy's tanking, the Epstein files are out there still, so they're trying to distract from all that. So I think that we need to be focused on the fact that this is a corrupt administration, they're looting, they're just there to basically feather their own nest, and we need to make sure that we take our government back.
As we gather here today in Syracuse on May Day, not just to celebrate, but also to remember. May Day was born out of struggle, out of workers who refused to accept the 12, 14, 16-hour workdays, out of people who stood up in places like the Haymarket riot, who said, enough, or for español, basta. Enough exploitation, enough inequality, enough silence. And some of those people paid with their lives. Workers and organizers were killed. Others were executed for speaking out for the 8-hour workday. But these were not criminals. They were labor leaders. They were immigrants. They were working people of all stripes and colors who dared to demand dignity. And because they stood up, because they organized, we have the rights that we enjoy today, the 8-hour workday, workplace protections, and none of it was given. Every single gain was fought for. Brothers, sisters, and siblings, now is our turn, because working people are getting squeezed. And while we fight for a fair paycheck, there are billionaires and corporate interests spending millions to rig the rules, trying to buy our elections, silence our voices, tilt our democracy in our favor. We just saw this Wednesday at the Supreme Court. Fleming's going to talk more about it. But this is what the billionaires are trying to buy. They're trying to buy us, buy our democracy. So let's call it what it is, an attack on all of us. Speaking for the labor movement, when they attack and weaken unions, when they suppress votes of people across our community, especially black and brown communities, when they drown our voices out with money, they're not just going after our jobs, they're going after our democracy. But here's what they don't understand. Our power does not come from wealth. Our power comes from what you see here today, our solidarity. When we stand together, we win. When we stand together, we win better wages, safer workplaces, and a voice in our democracy. So today, on May Day, we don't just honor the past, we commit to fight ahead. We must organize, we must mobilize, we must stand shoulder to shoulder, because solidarity is not a word, it is our power and how we take that power back. The power of the labor movement is not just in the organizations that represent workers. This year, in the past 2 years, all the way up to today, the Worker Center of Central New York, under the direction of Jess Maxwell, has been on the front line of that fight. They have been with the workers who have been snatched out of their workplaces, going to work, going to their appointments. To hear about this today, I am honored to introduce Jessica Maxwell, the Executive Director of the Central New York Worker Center of Central New York.
Really appreciate being here today. In the last year, we've supported hundreds of workers and their families across Central New York as they are literally hunted down in our communities. The most common way we see people detained is on their way to work, at work, on their way home from work, because this is a war on workers. That's right. To keep workers silent, to keep workers vulnerable, to keep workers divided. The ag industry just pushed through one of the biggest wage thefts in history, cutting the wages of immigrant farm workers $7, which, if implemented, will steal $2.5 billion from farm workers and put it into the pockets of owners. If you look at the countries of origin of the people being detained, and you look at the list of open cases at the Buffalo Immigration Court, you will see they align, because ICE is targeting those who are trying to follow the rules and fight their legal case in court. Bullying workers into abandoning their legal cases. Our hotline gets calls every single week from families in Syracuse who have had a loved one abducted. 3 weeks ago, we saw multiple ICE vehicles chasing a roofing van in rush hour morning traffic, pulling into a gas station, smashing their window, and chasing workers on foot on Brighton Avenue, just down the road. We had another worker call us. He and his friend had been racially profiled on the north side driving on their way to work. He sent us a photo of the location where the ICE agents who arrested them were staging their operation. It was a parking lot for one of our city parks. Another worker who is waiting on his green card to come through, who has already won his case, has been stopped not once, but twice by ICE driving around the city of Syracuse, followed on Erie Boulevard by vehicles that pulled out of another city-owned property. Agents were so aggressive, they dented his car door trying to get it open when he refused to get out of the car. When he finally rolled down the window and showed him that he had status, they took his asylum papers and refused to give them back. They threatened threatened to smash in his window while he was videotaping them. And he remained calm, and he stood his ground. And fortunately, he got his lawyer to the scene to prevent them from illegally detaining him. In February, just blocks from here, one of our member leaders, a board member of our organization who's been here for 20 years, was illegally detained on his way to work, leaving his wife, 6-month-old baby, and 2 daughters without an income. Last night at 9:30 p.m., we were accompanying a single mom who's been working 3 jobs until they stopped renewing her work permit. We had to accompany her to her lawyer's office at 10 p.m. because that's the only time he can meet with clients because he's in court all day. Because yesterday morning when she went to her routine ICE check-in, they confiscated the passports of her U.S. citizen children. Her daughter planned to travel to visit her grandmother in Guatemala this summer, who is struggling with her health. And her 10-year-old daughter said, "Mommy, when is your next appointment? I want to go with you to get my passport back." And that is why we fight on the strength and the resistance and the determination of the workers, the immigrant workers who are risking everything, their livelihood, their family connections, their freedom to stand up and resist. We helped a group of workers at the Watertown hatchery who were fired without pay fight and take their employer to court and get their $11,000 in back wages. With the help of the NYCLU and other organizations, our Workers Center and 4 of our members are suing the Department of Homeland Security in federal court. We are demanding that the court order ICE to stop their illegal, warrantless stops and racial profiling of immigrant New Yorkers. We got our board member out of detention in record time. In 3 weeks, he was home with his family. But the trauma and the fear are ongoing, and now we are fighting for another board member because our organization has been under siege. And just last Wednesday, our board member Dolores, founder of Mujeres Divinas, a mutual aid organization for immigrant women, former board member of the National Farm Workers Women's Alliance, who has spoken twice at Harvard, who testified in Albany after she was detained by state police for a routine traffic stop and turned over to Border Patrol years ago. And that incident put her in the pipeline to ICE supervision, which led to her detention last week. She has lived in New York for over 20 years. Her family is here. Her life is here. And despite the fact that we filed a habeas and the Western District Court retained jurisdiction and ordered her not to be deported, ICE moved her under cover of night to Ohio and then Louisiana, where she is today. I was coming to call you to ask the governor and Senator Gillibrand to bring her home, but I just got a call 15 minutes ago. Dolores is coming back to New York. The judge heard our call for habeas, and they have ordered Dolores back in New York by May 12th, and what we need for you is she is going to have a hearing on May 26th, and we need you to show up and pack the court in Buffalo with us. While our members are risking everything, too many of our elected officials are playing it safe. But our community is not safe, and they don't have our backs. And we need them to stand up, and we need them to fight for us. We have been fighting since the last Trump administration to win New York for all to stop collusion between our local law enforcement and immigration. We have organized. We have the legislator on board. We have the Senate Majority Leader on board. We have the Assembly Majority Leader on board. There is one person standing in our way. And that person is Kathy Hochul. I need you to call Kathy every single day next week. Call anybody you know with connections to Kathy Hochul. Tell her to pass New York for all. No compromises, no collusion. There's a series of forums coming up with the mayor's office and the Syracuse Police Department in May and June. I want you to go to one of those forums in your neighborhood. I want you to ask them, how are they training their deputies not to collude with ICE? I want you to ask them, what is their policy on ICE using city-owned property to stage their abductions of our neighbors? What is the city doing to keep our people safe? We had to fight to get to the mic today. It's a good thing we've gotten pretty goddamn good at fighting. I've never argued to get on a rally agenda before. I'm more likely to turn down a speaking role. But this is May Day. This is our day. And our community is under attack. And I just want to read Dolores from detention called and sent us some words. And what she said is, although I am far away, I do not feel alone because I know I have a community outside fighting for me. We are that community. We're not a big organization. We don't have a big budget. We don't have wealthy backers with deep pockets. We don't have secret backdoor connections to politicians. What we have is us, our members, and you. And we really need you to hear what is happening right here every single day to immigrant workers in our community. And we need you to take action and stand up for immigrant workers. One struggle, one fight, all together for immigrant rights. One struggle, one fight, all together for immigrant rights. One struggle, one fight, all together for immigrant rights. One struggle, one fight, all together for worker rights. One struggle, one fight, all together for worker rights. Thank you so much.
I just want to say thank you for all of you being out here today. I think it is extremely important that we chose May 1st as the day to call for a general strike. We must understand that it is the working class who keeps this society functioning, not the parasitic billionaires who exploit our labor for their own profit. Without our healthcare workers, teachers, plumbers, and many other workers of our society, the entire society would grind to a halt. I also think that it is imperative that we understand why May 1st is a historically significant day in the labor movement in the United States and across the globe. The PSL would like to invite you all to our May Day teach-in event this afternoon at 3 p.m. It was previously going to be held at the Salt City Community Market, and we had some miscommunication. It is now going to be held at the Peace and Social Justice Building at 2013 East Genesee Street. We will be conducting an educational program on radical labor history and the general strike. We're going to have two speakers who I am absolutely elated for you to meet. Gianni Notaro is a Utica school teacher that runs a political education program with the Party for Socialism and Liberation called the People's Classroom in Utica. Gianni will be speaking to us about the history of union organizing and the correlation to modern day labor movements. I am also honored to announce that we will have the opportunity to hear and speak with former presidential candidate for the Party for Socialism and Liberation, Claudia de la Cruz. Claudia will be giving us a discourse about immigrant organizing and the general strike tactic. So I hope that you will join us for what is sure to be a wonderful event. And there's one more thing I will ask of you today. I ask that you look to the person to your left and the person to the right of you. We know that this parasitic billionaire class has strong class solidarity and community. If we do not do the same, we are bound to lose this class war. So I encourage you to meet somebody new, join an organization, and get organized, because we are the only ones who are going to save ourselves. Thank you.